Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You got Bert and Laney, the DD guys, and we are here to talk to you about a big, serious question to all the Disney investors out there. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. Management right now is saying that they may recommend a reinstatement of the dividend. So we're here to address the question, will Disney stock pay a dividend? Yes
Mhm.
or no. We're going to go through financials. We're going to go through a stock screener metric to see if they have the ability and at what rate. I'm going to put Bert and I on the test here of saying what we think the dividend will be when they resume. And then I want you guys to also let us know in the comments what you think and even what you guess the dividend might be.
Before we put our guessing hats on, though, smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Help you boys get to 19,000 subscribers. We appreciate it. Let's go, everybody. But let's jump into this. Let's not mess around. Let's talk Disney. Ticker symbol DIS. Holy freaking cow, we're talking Disney, Lanny.
We're talking Disney. I don't think we've talked Disney stock in half a decade, guys. It's been a long time since we've talked about
Yeah.
Disney stock.
This
I'm
must be
very
what it feels like when a wrestler takes off for some time and then comes back.
well,
Like come
this
back.
one's been a few years, right, in the making.
Yes, that's
Um,
absolutely right. So what's going on here at Disneyland? What brought
what's
the
going on with
reaction?
Disney? Well, there's been a lot of chatter. You've caught our, Twitter handle or X handle. Bert's been putting out some pretty hardcore tweets about Disney. Had a very interesting, I call it interesting earnings release because you really got to peel back the layers of what happened. It was decent, very good cash flow actually, and very good subscriber growth. We'll hit some items through the earnings release that really caught our attention that is going to help us make a decision if Bert and I think that management will pay a dividend and at what rate. So
Yeah.
guys, quarter sales, they were up. They were up 5%. Sales in general year over year were up 7%. Why? Well, parks are actually performing better. Bob Iger and his crew have a cost-cutting elimination strategy right now. Think about all of those contracts and reporters and analysts at
Mhm.
ABC and
Oh
ESPN
yeah.
essentially, and a lot of cost cutting is happening right now, not just with those networks, but with across the board at Disney. So I feel like that's really starting to come to fruition.
Yeah.
But Bert, they had some pretty cool stuff about their Disney Plus
Yeah.
network.
I mean, we all know what's going on with the streaming wars right now. And when the cheap debt went away, the strong performance of the streaming companies went away too. Throw that in there with the writer's strike. That was terrible news for Warner Media Discovery. That was terrible news for Paramount. It was terrible news for even Disney Plus for a little bit. But it buried in this earnings release, there was some great news in there. Plus 7 million net subscribers for Disney Plus. They even tease that they're going to have profitability for the streaming service in Q4 2024. So they are a year away. And that alone is huge right there in this sector. Because think about it, with Netflix, with everybody else, how expensive it is to generate this content. And that's what's killing these companies too when you're going through it.
What a fun Pandora box of streaming. But good thing that Disney obviously has a big bat to swing and they could hopefully control cost as much. And hey, they're gonna Disney Plus. I mean,
Yeah.
Bert, now you have a couple of children at home.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're rocking Disney Plus on your TV somewhere. A
Oh,
lot of
of course.
families. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I
it's
got two daughters. One of them was hardcore. She's not as much into it now, the princess phase. So we go through that. And where better to find all the princesses than when you go on to Disney Plus? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
So it's funny. That's one platform that I think, is due for a nice price increase to using it monthly or yearly.
Yeah, and
So
they've also talked about following Netflix's lead with the cracking down on the sharing of the
yeah,
accounts too. So it worked for Netflix. So I'm sure Disney Plus is going to have the same success when they eventually implement and roll that out.
all it means is, yeah, more revenue for Disney guys. Now, they actually even boosted up their cost cutting benchmark. It was at 5.5 billion. They're juicing it up to 7.5 billion. On top of that, this is what I was referring to earlier, free cash flow. The ability for them to freely use their cash for investments, to double down on certain projects, to maximize obviously revenue and profitability for Disney. Free cash flow is almost 3.5 billion for the quarter, guys. That was up almost 2x what it was last year. Year to date, they're doing so well. And Bert, I know you and I love to look at the balance sheet. Their
Hmm.
balance sheet is tremendously improving, in my opinion. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, again, free cash flow allow them to make moves on their balance sheet. They haven't paid a dividend lately, so they have a lot of room to continue taking that and improving the quality of their balance sheet, paying down the debt. And you can see that the current ratio is above 1x. The quick ratio is at 0.99x. So they're very liquid. They're very liquid right now, which is fantastic for a company that invests as much money as Disney throughout everything.
Yeah, very liquid. Yeah, nice, solid current and quick ratio.
Mhm.
Borrowings are down, since last year by a couple billion.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's great. And it had a nice little impact on the income statement, right?
They also had the biggest thing that they actually had happen was they did take a 1 billion impairment charge.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
missed that. Yeah, I
yeah.
skipped right over that one. My bad.
No, no. So they had an impairment charge, and that was predominantly composed of goodwill impairments related to the entertainment international sports arena, and some other small impairments during the quarter. But that impairment did lead to an impact of 50,
Yeah.
call it 50 cents to the EPS.
Yeah, take the one-time hit. Why not? You're in the restructuring. You might as well trim as much fat as you can so you can juice up for future earnings.
Yeah.
Smart move by Disney. Okay, so where are we here? Let's talk about this because we're not just here talking about Disney. We're talking about the dividend, and that's the big piece here. It was finally teased out by Iger that they're at the point where they're getting ready to recommend a dividend coming down the pipeline. Once again, they are finally looking at it where they're like, "Hey, Chico, we might be back paying a dividend, yo." Isn't that what Razor would say about this, Lanny?
And Razor would say, "You talking to me?" So, guys, Disney, I mean,
Hmm.
let's put them through the metrics. Right now, the analysts are expecting $4.49 in EPS for 2024. Normalized EPS year to date in 2023 through $9 or 9 months was $3.76. So you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, they're earning a little over 90 cents, a quarter. See, that kind of does match up to what expectations are on a normalized basis for 2024. Then it got me thinking, okay, well, what does the PE look like? Well, they're at 20 times earnings. Slightly, they're valued right now, $90. They are what they are.
Yeah.
But then again, it got me thinking of, okay, what is like a safe intro back to the dividend world that keeps the payout ratio low, keeps the yield maybe where you might go, okay, that's fine. It kind of gets them back to what they used to be. If you back when Bob Iger was still running it pre-pandemic.
Yep.
Um, and guys, we came out to let's estimate what it would look like with a 25 cents per share per quarter dividend or a dollar per year. What does that look like?
It gives you a payout ratio of 22%. So yeah, a nice low, like a nice moderate dip your toes in. And I was doing some research here too, Lanny. I found a few websites here just to look at what was Disney's historical payout ratio. Like where were they from a payout ratio standpoint before? Investopedia says they were between 15 to 30% was the historical mark for Disney.
About that.
Yeah, and a few other websites, you can pull whatever metric you want to from our site. Every one of them show payout ratios within the 20% range before they cut the dividend. So,
So we're right in line.
yeah, I think a $1 is a very fair estimate of what a dividend could look like for Disney when it returns.
Now I'm curious, Bert, do you think I think they come back with a quarterly dividend versus a semi-annual one?
Yeah.
I think they normalize it more.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, think of it like just level out the cash flows a little bit instead of taking two big hits during the year, just spread it out over 4 quarters.
Yeah. And when I was thinking about the cash flow component, because they have about 1.8 billion shares outstanding, a 25 cent, dividend, yeah, it's about what, 400 to 500 million dollars of cash flow that it would take, which is more than covered during a quarterly free cash flow. So they have they have the room to also do it from that standpoint.
Yeah. So the question is too, we're projecting out a $1 per year dividend. What is the yield? Where would that put the yield here? That'd give it a 1.11% dividend yield for Disney. So very, very solid. Dip your toe in dividend yield.
Dip your toe in, kind of like Nike, they're at that
Yeah.
1%, and Disney was always historically low as
Oh,
well. So it's very interesting how it kind of all to us makes sense. I mean, Bert, do you feel good about them doing a 25-cent per share per quarter dividend?
I don't feel good. I feel great, Lanny. I feel freaking great. What about you?
Well, in the words of Buzz, to infinity and beyond, guys. No, but I mean, let us know what you guys think of 25 cents per share per quarter, a dollar per year to start it out. Let us know if that was your guess. Let us know your take, though, if you have a different estimate of what Disney might come back with a dividend. Do you think Disney will pay a dividend going into 2024 is the question.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And Lanny, whether or not they agree with what we think the dividend's going to be, what else do we have to tell these people?
Guys, you're either with us or you're against us. Jack, that was Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.